Hello Libra, thank you for watching your April 15th to 30th, 2017 read. For the main read, I'm using the Morgan Guru Tarot. There we go. Actually, it was on the other side too, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And for the support cards, I'm using the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. I feel like yours might be straightforward. Okay. Really? No, I'm getting like a conflict with that one, so we'll leave that there. If that comes back in, we'll let it. I feel like this is supposed to be more about you. I mean, it's your read anyway. Alright, now... The story seems to come through kind of clear. I think I'm just kind of like going slow here, because I know typically Libras are very peace-loving people, and they try to work things out, and they want everybody to get along. It seems to be my impression. I'm sure you'll comment below if you think I'm wrong. Now, there's some type of disappointment here. Something isn't working out. This is at the end of Aries, which is the opposite of Libra. Aries is more likely to get out there and push a problem forward so it's dealt with. They don't like sweeping things under the rug. They rather fight than forget it, if you know what I mean. They rather fix it than forget it. Fight and fix it than forget it. I feel like that energy is kind of coming in here. Which is, the interesting thing is, I feel like when you're actually in the Aries time frame, things seem to be okay for the most part. I feel like you're moving forward, you're healing family issues. I feel like you're trying to, like, you got keep an open mind and you have healing family issues. I feel like when things go a little wonky, you seem to roll with the punches quite well. And maybe that Aries energy is working to your benefit. Like, you're more comfortable with the conflict, or it doesn't seem like it's that bad for whatever reason. I do feel like there's a little bit of conflict here, but it's not overly stressful. It just seems to come and go, like in wisps, if that makes sense. Like little conflicts here and there, but like as soon as it starts, it ends, and you're just like, well, like it doesn't like stress you, like it's something you have to worry about. I don't know how to explain that. I hope that's coming through. Like it just kind of happens like in wisps, really quick, not a big deal, not like you're looking for it, but it's over before it begins, and you're just like, well, I don't know how to explain it. Like it doesn't bother you, you don't stress on it. And there's this card kind of like doing this thing here, like kind of like banging your head, and I feel like you're banging your head like on the wall a little bit, like here we go again. Oh, here we go again. Like I feel like you're trying to get along, but you're ending up in these little wisps of arguments, and you just feel like you're banging your head against the wall. Like I'm constantly doing this lately. It's kind of annoying, but I don't feel like you're stressed. I just feel like you're kind of rolling with the punches. Like there's little, like I feel like there's little things just going on. It's just like these little things keep popping up, and it's just, it's a little, it's like it's slightly aggravating, but it's not stressful. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Just keeps happening, and you're just like, you're saying what you need to say. You're moving through it. It seems like it has like a balance to it. Like action and communication seem to have this balance to it. Okay. So I feel like as we're going 20th, 21st, somewhere on that spot, and I'm not exactly sure when we trip into Taurus, but I know as it goes closer to it, we get more of that influence. I feel like as the Taurus thing goes on, something is a little wonky in the sense of like, I feel like you're kind of like holding back more. And I feel like it's the transition from the Aries energy into the Taurus, like it's kind of making you hold back. Almost like you've these little skirmishes, these little wisps of arguments, like you're kind of like, all right, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I'm just kind of like constant with this, and you kind of like pull back, and you might kind of like shut down or shut in a sense, like stop communicating with certain people, stop dealing with certain situations just for a while because you're just like, you know what? I just need a break. I've had it. I've had it for now. It's fine, but I don't want to do this. And I almost feel like you're being a mediator for someone else. I'm just catching on to why this is over here. Okay. Excuse me. You're almost a mediator. I almost feel like, for some of you, this is a partner or somebody close to you, somebody maybe you live with, and there's some issues with a job. I'm thinking that might be what the situation's going on here. I almost think this is someone who lives with you or somebody very close to you, like a family or friend. And there's something going on with them that definitely is affecting you, and it's affecting your relationship with them. The reason I'm saying that also is because there's the top row is like how you feel, usually the middle row is what's going on between you and the other side. The bottom row is like the environmental factors. When there's a fourth row, that means there's something going on outside of that realm that's affecting the person that you're dealing with, and it's creating changes in your life. So not happening with you, but happening to this other person. I feel like it's a person. They're having some changes. I feel like this is a kind of like, I can't really say it's an abrupt change. I really can't, because that would be more of the tower. But for some of you, it is kind of abrupt in the sense of like, you may not be aware of exactly where things are going. And like they're parting ways with something. Something's coming across like fair judgment. I feel like you might not be surprised about something that's happening around. Like you might not be surprised, like something is shaking out, and it's time for it to shake out. Okay. Now, I feel like since this is one removed from you, like it's not happening to you, it's not happening to the person, well, it's happening to the person connected to you. Like it's a little distant, but there's definitely a change there. And it's time for them to move in another direction, and that's what's going on here. This change, though, this is like directly affecting you. I feel like in some cases they're making a change. They're deciding to either go into business for themselves or they're like going a certain direction. There's something they're starting. It's a complete change of life for them. For the most part, yeah. Okay. I feel like they're reminding me this is a general read, so remember that, a little different I feel like for the most of you, it's definitely this person is going through like a life change. They're going a completely different direction. And some of them it's self-employment or the loss of a job, something like that. I feel like it's more financial. And it may even be to the sense that something happened to them and they physically can't do the job that they're used to doing, so they have to change for that reason. Okay. Now, one of the reasons you're pulling back, I also feel, is that when they're doing this, they're communicating to you all this wonderful stuff, like how they feel like this is going to be good. This isn't going to be that big of a deal. It's going to be fine. And I feel like you may not be I don't feel like you're really on board with it, I'll be honest with you. But I feel like you're holding back and you don't want to cause fights, and you already see this as going forward. Like, at this point, I feel like you're like, well, it's like it's already like there's this hill and somebody already started pushing the boulder down the hill, and so it's already started rolling, and you're just like, oh, I could try to get in front of it if I want to be flattened. If I want to get flattened, I could get in front of it, and it's still going to go down the hill. So I feel like you hold back for that reason. You're holding the burdens going forward as they do this. As they go forward and they start off with that, like, we got the Page of Swords here. I almost feel like this might be your perception, that they're not as gung-ho about this change as you feel they should be. They're taking it one step at a time. And I feel like you kind of feel burdened. Now, it's the Ten of Rods here. This is definitely a card of burdens. This is a problem. This holding back is a problem. I say that because I feel like it's kind of like a wind-up. This change that this other person's going through, I really feel like they're close to you in one respect or another, and it's really affecting your relationship with them. It bothers you. It causes you some type of stress. There's extra work or something you have to pick up because of it, and I feel like it's kind of like a time bomb. It feels like it's a wind-up. And there's a couple of reasons I'm saying this. Because I feel like you get really angry. And this card here, the overall energy, the Five of Cups, I feel like it goes from feeling like things are lost and not seeing what you have left, and kind of like mourning the loss. And then it kind of tips, and it's kind of like, I feel like instead of mourning the loss, just letting go. And one of the reasons I'm feeling that is because the next two cards, Separation and You Deserve Love, come through next on your side. Like, I feel like you're ready to cut ties and just move on, because I feel like it's really causing you stress, and you've kind of had it. And instead of feeling bad about what it was and where it is, you're just like, I'm finished. I'm done. Which seems kind of interesting. The You Deserve Love makes me feel like you're kind of looking at the situation like, why did this have to happen? Farrell! I feel like you go from feeling like not regret, but like things are just not working out the way they should, to like, why? Like, why did this have to happen? Like, I feel like you're very upset. Like, what you kind of feel like, what should I have done? Like, you feel like this shouldn't have happened this way. You're kind of feeling that way. Especially the separation. I feel like you might like really just walk away from this person for a while in some respect. You have the Devil for what's happening, and you have on their side the Eight of Swords, which means I feel like they're just like, I feel like they've stepped out of the situation, and they don't feel like there's anything they can do to change your mind. And like, you're not getting along. Like, the two of you are not getting along, but I feel like it's like, I don't want to say the War of the Roses. I want to say more of although maybe in some cases it is. Even if you're still like the War of the Roses in the sense of like, you may be still living together, but you're completely ignoring each other. Like living single. If it's a friendship situation, like, you're completely like not dealing with each other. You're just, the other person feels completely cut off, and like there's nothing they can say to fix or do anything to make the situation better right now. They feel like they're in the situation where it is, and it's just kind of where they are, and there's nothing they can do to correct it at this point. And I almost feel like you're wanting away from them for right now, and you don't think they can do anything at this point. Like, I feel like on your side at this point, at the end, you'd be like, well, not now, you can't do anything. I feel like that kind of comes forward. Like, you're aggravated. You're like, I don't really think this was the right action. I don't think that was what you should have done, and I'm not happy. And I just can't deal with you right now. I feel like you're really like very aggravated, and just like, you don't want to argue anymore. You're sick of arguing. You're sick of talking about it because you don't feel like it's having any effect in the direction you think it should. So you're just like, you know what? Whatever. Like, I feel like you're truly aggravated. Are we going anywhere from this? I always like a Disney ending, but I'm not seeing one here. I say that, and I swear, like, most of the readings, well, I shouldn't say most of them, but a good portion of them, they just end like they end. While I do like a good Disney ending, I don't force one, because it would just be BS, I feel. So what are we getting from this? Like, I feel like the situation is, you have major arcana here with the death and the judgment. What's happening to the other person, it's going to happen. Like, I feel like it's already on way. It's already, by the time you see this information, it's already in full force. It's going forward. I feel like they're optimistic, and you don't agree, but you don't want to fight about it anymore. I feel like this is where these little wisps of arguments came in the beginning. Like, you were holding it off, getting them to wait, getting them not to do something, and then all of a sudden they go forward and do it. And I feel like that's part of why you're annoyed. That's part of why you hold back at this point, because they already did it by this point. And you're just like, you went ahead and did that? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, I thought we decided differently on that. And then they just kind of like, oh, this can be good, and they talk it up really nice. And you have the conversation with them, but you're not saying what you're thinking. You're just saying whatever you need to get through the conversation, because you're like, I can't believe this is kind of going this way. And then you're trying to keep it together, you're trying to go forward with it, but it's really ticking you off to a point where finally you're just ignoring them altogether. You're just like, I'm fed up, I'm done. The devil could denote an argument, like a screaming match, depending on how you handle this person. If you have a history with this person of getting into those type of arguments, I feel like that's definitely what this is saying. I feel like a lot of you, though, are going to kind of like just like ignore the other person flat out, and that's it. And you're just kind of like going to distance yourself from them as diplomatically, but as much as possible. Okay. I guess the fact that this is going to happen is the point of this reading, because I'm trying to find something else to pull through here. And I feel like you're trying your best in the beginning to see the other person's point of view, but you're trying to hold it off. But when they go ahead and do it, that's just like I think that's the point. They're going to go ahead and do what they need to do, and it's going to make you angry. It's definitely going to tick you off. And when you get angry, or when you cut them off, they feel like there's nothing they can do to help the situation. They feel stuck. That's what this is saying. It's not like they can't do anything. They just don't see any light at the tunnel at the moment, and they're just kind of letting it simmer and calm down. Hopefully. Okay. All right. That's the read for this time frame. Hopefully this gets better soon. I think the fact this is acknowledging that it's going there, and the fact that I think the upset is that you don't have the control here, and that it's just kind of going to happen, even though I think another warning here is that it's going to happen, and you might not see it coming. It might be a shock. I think that's the thing. To know it's coming might help a little bit. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'll get this reading up as soon as possible. Actually, I usually do them on Friday. If you would like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.